race. And there we are. Race is off. Race 2 of the Simracing Team Challenge new season. Ludi Andersson approaching T1 in the Danielsson Motorsports Ford GT40. Down the hill into the brake zone. He's on the curbs and he just gets in before Gregory de Graaf. And Andersson defending number 1 quite handsomely here, while de Graaf is under huge pressure from Roland Enström. And a quick look there to the back of the grid. It looks as if everybody got off to a correct start. It looks as if everything worked out fine. Andersson in 1, de Graaf in 2, and then Roland Enström in 3. And problems there for the Project D racer. Problems for Gaëtan Ligastellois. He runs wide, and that's he actually won 1 or 2 positions, and now he is down, but he's fighting back. Ligastellois in 4. Ligastellois in 4, followed by Keith Barrett, who has moved up a little for the defending champion DHR Simcraft, and he is under attack by the green car there by Robin Johansson for Danielsson Motorsports Team 2. So that is where the action is at this moment. But a problem there for Gregory de Graaf. He rejoins the track. He has been off track, obviously. He's now in position number 4, which moves Ligastellois up to 3. What an interesting first lap for Project D. Trouble there at first, and now Ligastellois all of a sudden finds position 3 handed to him as Gregory de Graaf suffers a little problem there and struck down to 4. This means that we have a double lead for Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. It's Ludi Andersson in 1 and it's Roland Enström in 2. And notice how different the lines they are that they take, and we know that Enström takes a line that is usually extremely good for the tires and the overall sustainability of the race speed. And now Enström is on the inside and he might make a move on Ludi Andersson, and he does. It's a change in position number 1 and 2. In one of the turns that we modded, you can see a big orange curve that isn't there in real life. So it's Enström in 1 and it's Ludi Andersson in 2. This might just point to a different strategy in the Danielsson Motorsports team. Might be that Enström is on a 2 pit stop strategy while Andersson is on a 1 pit stop strategy. Remember, we have a new tire model here in the mod, so we have a choice of 4 different makes of tire, whereas in GTR Evo you just can choose between your average tires, your intermediate and your rain. Here we also have soft and hard slicks. Following these 2, there's a battle there between Ligastellois in 3 under a lot of pressure from Gregory de Graaf. And I suppose it's only a matter of time before we see the black and green Corvette of the Black Rebels passing the blue, white and red Sully Mustang for the Project D. And de Graaf there, moving out of Ligastellois' virtual slipstream just as they approach T1, but he moves back in, so no chance for him to overtake I think they're countrymen, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose they're both French, but not quite sure though. Let's just say they're virtual racers and they're in different teams, so animosity rather than comradeship between these 2. Ligastellois in 3, de Graaf in 4, and the Danielsson Motorsports can't pull away. There's nothing like a gap here between number 2 and number 3. In fact, Ligastellois, even under pressure from de Graaf, can't stick to his speed. So it looks as if this track is really good for those machines that put a lot of punch on the rear wheel, while they might be difficult in the turns, which is quite surprising. I would have thought this was a track much more suited to the rides that are easy on the turns and a bit sluggish on the straight. This is a whisper. Is David back with us in the broadcast? I've just been told that my whispers go live to the broadcast, so I have to refrain from whispers for the time being. And otherwise I tell all my dirty secrets here to Jose, which of course we usually do in the course of the broadcast. And so here's my question out in open. Our pilot of the pace car, David Garcia, is he with us in the broadcast already, back from the virtual pit lane, and to give us some information on the outlap?
No, he's not yet, Kat.
Okay, what was your view?
He's talking to driver in the control room.
Okay. What was your view, Jose, of the first 2 or 3 turns? Everything nice and clean there?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that there were more personal mistakes in the first lap than really forced mistakes or accidents.
Yep.
So yeah,
usual bad combination of virtual cold tires and a full tank, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Cold tires, you want to push, but you can't expect the response of the car. So it's always quite risky.
Yep. And as we're talking, we're of course following the action here. Jose, you must then, if we don't have the whisper system in place, because I was too stupid to change it, you must then tell me which car are we following on the screen, because as most of you should know by now, I don't have the same image that you have. I'm in the game and following the game directly, so to speak.
Well, we are in P4 with Gregory. That was the project D car.
Yep. Brilliant, and we should move one up to Gaetan Ligastelwa, because I think he's making a move on Ludi Anderson now in the break zone of T1. No, he isn't. But this is an outstanding battle here, very, very close, and we can see that, in fact, it might be that the DMS are on a different strategy here, both racers, because we see Roland Enström pulling away, while Anderson has a lot of work to do just to keep Gaetan Ligastelwa for the Project D behind. And now the attack by Ligastelwa on the inside of that turn here. Ooh, and he's trying to take a different line, but Anderson just stuck to his line, so Ligastelwa had to move very close to the inside. Yes, please. And that, of course, brings Gregory de Graaf into a good position to attack here. De Graaf in 4, don't forget, he dropped the place due to a small mistake in the handling of the Corvette. And now he's eager to reclaim that 3rd place. Oh, that was very close to a touch there by between de Graaf and Ligastelwa, but I think they just very, very narrowly missed each other. And so Anderson now has a bit more quiet in the second half of this 4th lap. But this is a huge battle out here, folks. Really big one. And Ligastelwa, you can see how he tries to get onto the throttle as early as possible to take as much speed as possible out onto the more straightish parts. And this is in fact the start and finish straight that they get on now. Up the hill first, then a bit straight on, and then down the hill. And even though these guys are fighting, and really close fighting, there's a gap behind them. Before we see them in the background there, Keith Barrick, the sole surviving DHR Simcraft racer, doing what he can to close the gap, obviously. And no mean racer he, but these 3 are just so fast, even though they're fighting. It's absolutely amazing. And the battle is going on. We can see, well, just attacks in virtually every turn here. And that's what's so great about the Portuguese track we're following.